Today I'm going to talk about one important aspect of long distance touring, or especially on a motorcycle. That the question arises, how do you carry your luggage? Now I'm going to talk about this bag in this video particularly, and how I'm going to mount it on my Z900. Now, talking about this bag, I've used it only for the Kanyakumari to Delhi ride, which I did in December and early January. Back then, I was riding a Yamaha R3 and I mounted this bag on that particular bike. Now I'm going to tell you about what all are the advantages and disadvantages of this bag. So as you can see over here, it's called the Oxford Aqua T50. Now this is something which is not very regularly available in the market. You must have heard of the Rhinox or the GV, but this bag is a little scarce in the market. Frankly, I got it from only one store in Delhi. Now, I'll not talk much about the technical specifications of this bag, but I'll focus more on the practicality of using this bag for long distance touring. Now, this is supposed to be a waterproof, rainproof, and every kind of liquid proof water bag. Now, so as you can see over here, this is completely sealed from the top, and this is also called as a roll bag. So just to give you a reference about my Kanyakumari to Delhi ride, that ride was for 9 days, and I used only this bag to travel all the way from Kanyakumari to Delhi. So talking about the capacity, I think 50 liters is sufficient for a week or 8 days or 9 days of traveling. So now I'll tell you about the maximum loading I've done in this bag. So I had packed my t-shirts, fresh t-shirts for each day, a pair of jeans, all the essentials, my grooming kit. So I even packed my riding gear in this, including the guards, because I was flying from here to a place near Kanyakumari, which is called Tuticorin, from where I was supposed to pick up my bike and start my journey. So in that sense, I would say that the capacity of this bag is quite sufficient. And yes, if you want to carry some more luggage, then you can definitely add on the saddle bags or the tank bag, etc., etc. But this is what I used for my entire trip. So to open this bag, these top clips are to be unlocked. Also, there are two clips on the side. And this is the roll which happens with the bag, and here you can see, so these are the complete contents of the bag. I got a shoulder strap along with this so that I can carry it whenever I'm not riding it. Then I got 3 double D ring straps which are actually used for mounting it on the motorcycle. So I bought this bag for around 7,200 rupees, and the reason why I chose this bag is purely because of one advantage it has over the other Rhinox tail bags or the GV 407, whatever bags are available in the market. So if you turn this bag upside down, I'm sorry, the bag is a little dirty, but you can see here that this bag has a base strap. It's basically a Velcro strap. Now the use of this strap is that this should go under the tail seat of your bike, and this is the main mounting point of this bag, which prevents it from sliding or maybe shifting its weight from left to right, or maybe in that case falling from the bike. And then of course you have these double D-ring straps for that additional safety which you want with the bike. Now practically I had mounted this bag using only these two D-ring straps. So now let's go to the bike and see how this bag is supposed to be mounted on the tail seat. Let's go. Now I'm just allowing the bike to warm up, take a few minutes. So any superbike manufacturer says you need to warm up the bike to a certain particular temperature. Only after that you can ride this. So for Kawasaki has recommended me to warm it up till 60 degrees. So as you can see over here, it's now only 54 degrees. So I'll wait till the time it reaches 60 degrees. Now the bike is completely warmed up, but before I leave, I'll give you some orgasmic sound of this inline 4 engine. So here you have it, guys. I've mounted this bag. It took me around 3 to 4 minutes completely to take out the straps and take out the seat and completely mount it. So now I'm going to show you how I've mounted this bag. But before that, you can see this bag is actually wiggling a little. That is only because the bag is empty right now. I've tried to fill it with some random things, a bag or a bed sheet, but still, if once you have the complete luggage in it, so it will stop wiggling. So as I said in the video, I've used only 2 double D-ring straps to mount this bag. So they have to go in cross actually. So one side goes here and back towards the front left of that bag. I can just show you on the other side as well. So here if you see, this is the other side of it. So you loop in the strap from here and take it to the other side diagonally opposite, and same way from the other side as well. Now the main part which I had spoken earlier in the video about is that the main strap which has gone under the seat over here, this fixes the bag so tightly that it just doesn't slide to the left or right. You can see it's only wiggling from the top, but the bottom is completely fixed, and once this bag is loaded with luggage, it will just not move. So this is the main advantage of this bag. Now I'm going to talk about the demerits of this bag. Particularly speaking, this bag, since it's a waterproof bag, it doesn't have any bottle holders or any extra pockets given on the top to store in some small stuff. So in that way, I struggled a little bit in carrying the small things which I needed regularly. So my take on this bag is that you can definitely buy it, and the main reason for buying it is the stability it has on the highways or even on the bumpy roads. I had actually ridden 3800 kilometers over a span of 9 days, and this bag didn't give me any problem related to its mounting, not even once.